And hello and welcome to a snow-covered Monday here in the South. I don't think my dad got as much as we did, but not that bad as the ice storm last weekend. But still, we had a foot of snow here, so I'm ready for baseball. At least when baseball comes, Dad, don't you get that warm feeling? It doesn't matter what the weather's like a little bit.
I've been watching some of the Caribbean series.
Last night, yeah,
MLB.
before I went to bed last, I watched the inning or two. I was also watching the women's 3-on-3 Unrivaled. Battery, welcome, sir. He said they got a Dustin in Atlanta.
We didn't get anything. I mean, we got a few flakes here. Everything was south of us, and we didn't get anything. What's hit us here was after the ice came was a bitter cold. I mean, it was we had church service Sunday. Didn't have Sunday school, just church service Sunday. And we had children's church same time, of course. And we were the only church in the whole city that was open. I mean, there's at least our parking lot was clear. All the other parking lots were ice skating rinks because temperature when I got up this morning was 11. I mean, that's just crazy for this part of the country.
Yeah, we were 7 when I went to work this morning. So, but anyway. We're down to, we got 1 week. It's 9 days until, I mean, I've already watched some of the young players showing up to Mets spring training in Port St. Lucie. So their players are already showing up, getting their reps in, and a lot of young players want to get there early to get some one-on-one and some extra work in. So what do you got for us this week? Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I have a few things. This won't mean anything to anybody but you and I. Trey Mancini. The last I saw him was a couple of years ago. He was with Houston. He's a young man who was with the Orioles, and I really thought a lot of him. And then he had to battle cancer, and he came back from it. Well, he signed a minor league contract with the Angels. So he signed a minor league contract, and he's going to go to camp.
I think last year he was. Who was he with last year?
I didn't know he was with anybody last year. He was with Houston a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he went to Houston, and since Baltimore traded him, he's really been all over the place. Can't find a home. So,
well, the trade deadline has been extended out to August 3rd at 4 p.m.
That's not bad.
Monday, August. Well, it's August 3rd. It used to be at 4 p.m., and now they're going to let it go till 6 p.m. So it'll be 6 o'clock.
The whole 2 hours. Make sure to get their paperwork.
2 hours to trade everybody else.
Well, it's probably to get the paperwork in from like the West Coast or something ridiculous.
Well, not only that, but it gives a couple more hours to MLB and whoever else is covering it.
Right.
You asked about the Rays. They're going to play in the Trop again this year, but they have a non-binding agreement for a new arena to be built across from the stadium where the Bucks play, the Tampa Bay Bucks. So it's going to be built right across there. They hope. Let's see. Their agreement with the Trop lasts. The lease lasts until 2028. They had 61 sellouts last year in that little ballpark. But they only had a poll of 786,000 people in 750 because it was a small ballpark. But they had all those sellouts. The A's and Miami were the only teams that had lower attendance for the year, because here the A's were playing a minor league ballpark, and Miami doesn't draw because there's plenty of other things to do in Miami than to go see baseball.
Right.
Anyway, the Yankees got reliever Angel Savilli from Colorado, and Colorado got minor league first baseman T.J. Rumfield. And NBC is adding Joey Votto to their broadcast team for baseball this year.
Well, you kind of saw him being signed he was getting himself out there the last few years. He was in the league, really promoting himself as a little bit more outgoing. So that you knew that was kind of good for him.
And Minnesota, Derek Falvey and the Twins mutually agreed to part ways. He was their head of the president in charge of baseball for the last few years, and they never really said why, but there was a mutual agreement that he was leaving. Just like like the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, all of a sudden they gave the guy an extension last year and fired him this year. Let's see. Seattle, right-handed pitcher Logan Evans is out for the year with UCL surgery. He's going to have one of those braces put in his elbow, and he's going to be out for 12 months. Oh, this is ridiculous. Blake Snell is already complaining about a tired arm. He pitched 12 games last year and came back for the playoffs. I mean, I don't want to hear it. David Robertson, 40, right-handed pitcher, pitched 17 years in the major leagues, announced his retirement. He's going to retire from the game. He won a World Series with the Yankees in 2009. He was with the Mets, Milwaukee, Texas, the White Sox, Phillies, Rays, and Cubs. So, I mean, every time the rent was due, he went to a different team. The A's, they're fantastic shortstop, Jacob Wilson. They gave him a 7-year, $70 million increase of a contract.
Yeah.
The 8 years of club option. The A's have some young. If they could get some pitching, they've got some young players.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They said they re-signed him. They re-signed Brent Rooker. They extended out Butler. I'm sitting here going, man, they are really building a future here. And like you were saying, they got the bullpen, they just got to get to the bullpen. And so, if they can get a couple of pitchers, they got some talent. JJ Bleday, and the Big Amish, Nick Kurtz. They got the catcher. They are really Chandelier, whatever. They really that team is that West is going to be fun to watch with them, the Mariners, Rangers. It's going to be fun. So
Austin Hayes, I was reading for 2 weeks where Austin Hayes was either going to sign with the he was either going to sign with the Yankees or Cincinnati. So guess what, folks? He signed with the White Sox.
Right. Where are the White Sox? Do they want to make a run, or I don't know what they're doing. Like,
well, they got a 1 year, $6 million contract with Austin Hayes.
I know he's not going to move the needle that much for him, but still, they signed.
The White Sox are making these little moves here and there, and don't be surprised if.
They know in that division you don't have to do much to get over the hump to at least win the division. So
because nobody in that division scores. So
right.
In San Francisco, they signed. They were the ones that signed Luis Arraez to a 1 year, $12 million contract, and the reason he signed with them is because he wants to play second base.
Right.
So the first thing they did was put him on a diet.
Well, I was looking at their potential lineup, and it's just that lineup just doesn't scare me, right? I mean, I was like, you got Devers and
their lineup doesn't scare you. And it's a big ballpark, and they do have pitching, and they had to improve their outfield defense. It was horrible, and they've done that.
But I don't think their infield defense.
Well, I mean, it's just the Giants. Slowly but surely, Posey's is trying to bring them back to where they were back in what was the mid 2010s, where they were winning World Series left and right.
Every other year.
Yeah, they let Madison Bumgarner rest for a year, and then he come back and pitch 7 games in the World Series. And Shohei Ohtani is not going to be allowed to pitch for Japan in the World Baseball Classic. The Dodgers are not allowing him to pitch. They want him to be ready for the season. And that might happen to another view. And this another thing I saw where, let's see, a couple of the players from Houston were going to play on two different teams, and they found out that if they got injured, the Astros medical insurance wasn't going to cover them. So they're not playing because they can't afford to be injured.
Yeah, Lindor is not playing now because he is nursing an injury. I read that this week for the Mets. Or last week. But yeah, the biggest move you were talking about was with the Athletics just keeping their players is huge. That's something we have not seen from them since, Moneyball days. So I don't know. We still are in limbo of what's going on with the Vegas move and all that, but wherever they're playing at, whatever Little League ballpark they're playing at this year.
Well, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. And all they have to do is apologize. All they have to do is apologize to the people in Oakland, because they were going to build them a ballpark down by the water, exactly where they wanted the ballpark. But no, they want money. They wanted to go to Vegas. And MLB wanted them in Vegas. So that's what they did. But they could go back to Oakland probably if they build a ballpark right there on the water.
I mean, the ballpark's getting built, but I don't know what's going on with Oakland because they're supposed to come up with some money, and I still haven't heard anything.
They're supposed to come up with some money for it and all that too, and they can't take their name with it. They're gonna have to change their name.
Yeah, that's interesting. I need to look up. I that slipped my mind last week when we were talking about that. I did read about that, but it was just a quick blurb. It wasn't like a long thing. Something about rights, and I still didn't quite understand that. That team has been in 4 different cities as the A's. So I'm trying to figure out the trademark of them or something. It's weird. So
yeah. Well, I also did some homework. Well, and from my knowledge too, about these the other free agents that haven't signed that had, like Lucas Giolito, Ozuna, Zach Gallen. I had Suarez on here, but Suarez signed with the Reds.
Yep.
He signed with the Reds 1 year, $15 million. And he's 34 years old. And one of the reasons that he strikes out a lot, plus being 34, that doesn't help. Lucas Giolito is 31, but he's had injury problems the last few years. So he's not always reliable. Ozuna's 35. He strikes out a lot. And he's not a very good defensive outfielder. He's a DH, and that's it.
And he's a problem person.
Yeah. And Zach Gallen, his fastball was not what it was before.
Right.
So he's lost a little bit on his fastball. And he'll be 30 years old shortly, but he's in the prime of his career, 30 years old for a pitcher. And Valdez Flambert, well, he's 32. He's had some injury problems, not many, but he's a little bit of a problem in the clubhouse. I don't know if you remember, but last year, the catcher shook him off and something happened, and he crossed the catcher up and hit him with a fastball. Hit the catcher. Payback. Well, he claimed he didn't do it on purpose, but the team thought he did. And in the clubhouse, there was a lot of problems going on because the other players were accusing him of doing that. So that might be one of the reasons he hasn't been picked up yet. We have another trade. The Red Sox sent reliever Jordan Hicks. They're trying to get rid of his contract because he didn't do much for him. But when they traded for him last year, and he didn't do much for them, and they sent him an $8 million pitching prospect David Sandlin to the White Sox. Here again, the White Sox for pitching prospect Gage Zeal. Freddie Freeman came out and today and said that he'd like to play 4 more years so he could have 20 years and then retire. He's 36 now, so he'd be 40 years old when he retired. Hopefully he makes it because he's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
And Joe Carter, they're going to unveil on July 18th a statue of Joe Carter outside Rogers Center in Toronto. Of course, he's famous for the 1993 6-game walk-off home run against Philadelphia Phillies, win the World Series for Toronto. And that's the information I got. I actually thought I did pretty good for a week. Just nothing's going on.
Yeah, well, I really was going into those A's because I'm going to have to start, watching a little bit more of them late at night. Hearing the Tigers might be bringing Verlander back for 1 year.
I heard the same thing about the Nationals and Scherzer.
Yeah, so let's see.
Wouldn't it be something if Scherzer and Verlander went to the Tigers?
Yeah, make a run.
Week.
Yeah, they could switch off starts every other week. They get 10 days rest. Every 5 days they switch off which one's going to pitch. But something I want to bring up with small ballparks, and I've never heard of this, and is back home, which I'm definitely going to come up to go see this ballpark this year. That's where the Squirrels play in AA, the San Francisco Giants AA team in Richmond, Virginia. Built a brand new ballpark, beautiful stadium. It's fan friendly. It's going to be basic. A lot of minor league parks. It's kind of a party in the stands, and but they're raffling a chance to buy opening day tickets. Have you seen this?
No.
So you have to put yourself in a raffle to have a chance to buy opening day tickets for this new stadium. That is how hard the buzz is for a AA baseball stadium.
Oh, it was the old park. They led the minor leagues, or they at least led the Eastern League, and most of the time they led the whole minor league system in attendance.
Yeah. And I mean, this ballpark, they got most minor league ballparks now, they have party sections in the outfield. This one does. A lot of restaurants, some, it's one level. They don't have an upper deck. The second level is the boxes and stuff like that. I think they got a party nest or whatever. But I saw that and I was just like, man, this is unbelievable. Richmond they do not promote sports teams very well there. But for some reason, this baseball team, despising
for quite a few years,
right? The city does not promote sports very well, but man, they know how to do it, even with a new owner last year, or year before last. So kudos to them. I just wanted to bring that up. I just thought that was amazing. We found our replacements for Skubal. I just wish they would pay him. I heard this afternoon on radio that Atlanta may be trying to set up its own network after bankruptcy of network that previously did their games. Also heard the other 8 teams affected were not. I know a lot of those teams, Battery, have signed up with some ESPN.
The 9 teams, there's 8 teams, the 9 teams. Now, I don't know why Atlanta all of a sudden is out of this deal, but the 9 teams had MLB was going to take over the broadcast rights and do them locally. Yes. I don't know. Yeah. Same question. Why'd you bring it up? Now,
at the Australian Open, they got fans at the seats. course
My first question is,
I just thought we were going to bring up stuff.
the cup holders themselves are refrigerated. I wonder how much more you got to pay for a ticket to get a refrigerated cup holder.
Probably quite a bit.
Anyway, yeah, well, I got my water bill today and it went up another. Anyway, now I'll be thinking about this cup holder all night. But anyway, MLB was going to broadcast these games. They were going to have local broadcasters, but MLB was going to, and they were going to be on local channels. So now maybe Atlanta's going to do their own thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe
because me and you talked one night. Washington is going to be MLB on their streaming service, but yet they're going to be locally shown. So I'm sure
local show.
Yeah,
and because they've got they're using the same announcers and everything that they had last year.
Are they? I saw
Bob Carpenter retired.
Yeah, I saw I was like, I didn't know any of them. So
and Dan Coco, who used to be in the dugout, he used to do the dugout. You know, he'd be on the sidelines of the dugout. He's moving up and do the play-by-play, because when Carpenter would take time off, he was,
I saw the announce team. I didn't see him either, but
Don Coco was going to do the play-by-play, and then the next player is going to. He's been doing the color the last few years, and then I don't know who's going in the dugout. I think some young lady's going to be down there.
Yeah, it's a woman I'd never seen before either. But yeah, those little changes when you watch the local television make a difference. You watch 100+ games a year, you kind of become part of your family in some weird way, because you watch the games so much and they tell so many stories about themselves, because they got to have, the old Vin Scully got to have a story when it's downtimes in games. So, that day we heard about the guy that had to get one shoe smaller than the other one on the way home from the ball game. It was,
that was even worse than the cup holder.
Yeah, the good old days of sport. I mean, there is still some good radio announcers, that are well known, but I mean, those days of the super station announcers and all that stuff is kind of gone. I love my Mets announcers. Those three guys have been together.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I when MLB shows Mets games, they use the Mets broadcast, and those three guys are really good.
Yeah. Darling doesn't do a lot of the weekends because he works for TBS, I think. So Keith Hernandez and does it just with them too. So, but I don't know. You did say TBS is still doing games this year, right?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't, because no, I didn't. I know NBC has picked up games. ESPN's back in. They're going to do games. I mean, it's
I mean, that's that. It seems like everywhere it's going to be games, but they're like Apple doing a game on Friday night. That used to just tear me up, because they were doing Mets games or something, a game I would want to watch. And, I don't have Apple TV, and just added to one more game that I couldn't watch because of MLB doesn't let me, black out so many games for me. But, it's free. And I'm still interested to see, because it seems like they're still going to have the MLB package this year. I'm very confused on how all this is going to work with TV. It's just, I'm happy there's more places to watch the games, if you're able to watch the games.
If you're able to get them, yeah.
Right. So having more places to watch them is great, but how easy and just accessible is these ways to watch them? I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the games too, but I'll end up, spending more money than I might as well buy all the channels. Let's see. Not sure my beer has ever lasted long enough to require a refrigerated cup, especially in Atlanta heat. you should be able to buy the MLB package and watch any. That's the way I feel, Barry. Because if I buy the package and they're showing the game, the whole reason everybody's like, oh, they want you to go to the stadium to watch. No, that's the way it was in the 80s and 90s. They want you to watch it on the local television for ad revenue. But if I don't have those channels on my local television, and you can still show me the ads if you want to. Show me the ads all you want. I mean, I don't understand. Instead of telling me, oh, your game's on a commercial break, show me the ads. Who cares? It's really dumb because the streaming services don't want to show the ads because they're not getting any of the, they're not getting any of that money from it.
Well, I mean, like me, I'm sitting there watching a game. I don't care what sport it is, and the commercials come on. Unless it's a commercial I enjoy, I just hit the mute button.
Right.
I mean, I might have to sit there and look at them. I don't have to listen to them.
A lot of times when I have baseball on, I'm doing other stuff, and I'll have it on mute anyway. So each
one of the automobile insurance agencies is trying to outdo the other in stupidity. I mean, it's just let's make a dumber commercial,
right?
And they succeed, and that's what amazes me. But
but that's
one thing. One comment was made by our buddies up here about he'd rather be in a ballpark that was full, a small ballpark full, than 1.5, and that's true because when you're in a ballpark. I love watching the games on television, especially at my age, because now I don't have, it'll take me at a ballpark and I go to the bathroom, take me an inning now. I mean, but at my house, I miss one batter and I can get back.
He's got the door open. He ain't missing a batter.
Well, I mean, but the TV's pointing the other way. So anyway, I can listen to it. But anyway, being in the ballpark, there's something about it. It's a different ambiance. It's just a bit different feeling being in a game with everybody else. It's special. And
it's the yard, man. I love going to
baseball, especially baseball. I mean, I've been to football, basketball, and all that, but baseball's special.
When I'm at the baseball game, I'm only worried about the game I'm watching. It doesn't matter what game it is. I can go to any level. And I'm not worried about what other game. I might pull out my phone and check scores or something, or check the scoreboard in the outfield. But when I go to a football game, I want to be watching other football games a lot of times. I'm like, searching at what are my players doing in fantasy? It's so many different things. And because they only play once a week too. So, but when I go to baseball, I really enjoy being at the ballpark. I really do. And I don't need all of the extra bells and whistles. Now at minor league parks, it's nice because sometimes, let's face it, AA is AA. They're not the major leaguers for a reason. So sometimes those middle innings can get a little long, but it's still baseball. So Dad, what do you got for us today to take us out?
Well, Yogi went to Italy on vacation. He and his wife came back, and Cardinal Spellman of New York asked him if he had an audience with the Pope, and he said, no, but I saw him. And he said, well, Cardinal Spellman said, well, did he say anything to you? And he said, yeah. He said, hi, Yogi. And he said, well, what'd you say to him? He said, hi, Pope. That's Yogi.
So there you have it.
No, but I saw him.
Yeah. Another funny one. Thanks, Dad, for that. Thanks for all the info today. Like I said, we're 9 days from officially being started. A lot of the young players, old players get there to start warming up, getting those joints going. Young players start showing up to get reps in. So we'll have more and more excitement coming your way.
Don't be surprised if Flambert doesn't sign with the White Sox.
Yeah.
Everybody else is.
Right. So share, tell a friend, leave us some, message down below, challenges, talk to us. tell us what you're thinking. Yes, I will never ever be a Santa Claus because I don't like people like that. So next time we will see ya.